Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss Australopithecines. This topic comes under paper 1, chapter 1.6. You will find it's mentioned here in 1.6, that is Australopithecines. We already have a separate video on Homo erectus and Grimaldi man and Neanderthal man, which you will find in the separate playlist below. For now, we will begin with Australopithecines. We'll write a complete answer on Australopithecines. So we'll start with its era first. It was in Cenozoic era, right, which is 17 million years ago from present. Quaternary period, which is 3 million years ago to 1 lakh BC. So this is the particular period where the Australopithecines were found. Low Pleistocene epoch. You see, Australopithecines, they are found. First we'll talk about the afferences, right? So Australopithecus afferensis, they were found in Fiji, Ethiopia, Tanzania, we'll write down particular in Ethiopia, in Hadar, and South Africa. So these are the areas where Australopithecines or Australopithecus afferensis was found. Then second is Australopithecus africanus. First is Australopithecus afferensis. So Australopithecus afferensis, that is south ape of Africa, that is southern ape of Africa, which is also called as Tong's boy fossil or Tong's baby fossil. Tong's boy fossil, which was found in Tong, South Africa. It was also found in Kanapoi in Kenya. Also found in Swartcairns in South Africa. Then other two variants are Paranthropus robustus. It was found in South Africa. The place is same, that is Swartcairns. And Paranthropus boschi, which was found in Olduvai Gorge, Tanzania. Now we will write down the discoverers, the people who discovered this. So the very important name here in archaeology comes as Leakey. So we'll find the mention of Leakey family in archaeology, right? But for this, that is Australopithecines fossils, we will go with Raymond Dart. Raymond Dart discovered the fossil of Tong boy or Tong's baby fossil. So Raymond Dart. Then again some of the names of the prominent one are Robert Brown, Richard, and Cat Winkle. So these are some of the names. Then there can be a skull diagram. I would request you to go and find it on Google, because I'm very bad at drawings. So here comes a diagram of Australopithecines. See, you have to important that there has to be protruding face, bigger jaw or massive jaw, and you will find various features on it that we are going to discuss now. Salient features. So the height of this Australopithecines were about 3.5 to 4.5 feet and 30 to 80 kilograms of weight. That was it. There was a clear-cut presence of sexual dimorphism. The skull, the cranial capacity of the skull was between 400 to 600 cc. And the most important fact about Australopithecus Australopithecines is that it has both the features of man, that is human, and apes. So there were both the features of men and apes. Some of the basic characters, if we go, they include that foramen magnum. Foramen magnum is slightly towards the base. It's slightly towards the base of skull. See, I'm very bad at drawings, but if this is something back view of our skull is, here there will be a medulla oblongata, right? So this particular hole from where this medulla oblongata will come out of the brain and will somewhere touching to the spinal cord, that particular hole here, right here, that will be foramen magnum. The second is nuchal bone. Nuchal bone was slightly reduced. Again, the diagram problem. So you just have to remember this thing. The foramen magnum is something that you will hear it all over again and again. So that is not an issue. You will remember it anyway. The nuchal bone is something that you have to remember when it comes to Australopithecines. Then the thing is, zygomatic bones were slightly marked. Zygomatic bones were slightly marked. As we have discussed that this Australopithecines had both the features of men as well as ape. So we will write down certain features which were ape-like and certain features which were men-like. So here in ape characteristics, the jaw were protruded. It means that jaw was basically, if this is something a human head is, so faces, so this jaw was basically in front of it. So that is what it means in protruding. So definitely the prognathism was present. The nasal bone was flattened. The nasal bone was flattened, resulting into a flat nose. There was a premanila which was present. Next is diastema, or diastema is also present. Molars are big. If we consider this to be a dentition of human, here we will have our reduced canines, then here will be two incisors, the big teeth, and then from here there will be molars will start, right, the big teeth. So they had a kind of very big molars. So they had very big molars. The next is the cranial vault. The cranial vault. This cranial vault was flattened. It means that if this is particularly, if in general we are talking about, it is a skull, so usually this is something like this, right, but this is flattened, right, so there was not a kind of a very much development, as you can see. So this is the protruding voice, the flattened skull that you can see right here, right, the rectangular eye sockets and huge eyebrows that we will discuss. Then there were perinatal and there are a few things that are enough. These are the enough things. If anything comes on this particular part, this points will suffice. Now we will discuss some of the human-like features or human-like characters of the Australopithecines. So incisors were slightly vertical. Incisors were slightly vertical. Incisors are basically the front side tooth. These two teeth. The incisors and canines less than apes. So the size of canines and incisors was less than that of apes. The face was smaller. The face was smaller than apes. Than apes. The face was smaller than apes. The forehead was slightly vertical. The forehead was slightly vertical. The interorbital space is slightly more than apes. Interorbital space is slightly more than apes, meaning that this particular part here, this gap is bigger here as compared to the other apes. And cranial capacity, the most important is cranial capacity that we noticed was 400 to 600, was more than apes. So these are some of the reasons by which we can say that Australopithecine was somewhere in between. You cannot put in ape or human. There's definitely a link of both of them tracing to Australopithecines. There are some of the cultural characteristics. Cultural characteristics of Australopithecines, which is called as osteodontoceratoculture. Osteodontoceratoculture. Australopithecine, instead of making tools from the stone, they used bones of the animals that they were hunting, and these bones, along with teeth and horns, they again used it for hunting purpose. The division of labor, because of there was a definitely division of labor, as you can see, because bipedal hunter are now coming to the picture here, right? The next is, here two important points are important. I have told you about leaky, and the other is fill beam. So according to Leakey, Australopithecine might have definite home. Australopithecine might have definite home, as they found a semicircular wall-like structure in Olduvai Gorge. So they found a semicircular wall-like structure. As far as field beam is concerned, he said that there is a evidence of symbolic language, because such a complex activity such as hunting would require some types of planning or kind of informing each other about the prey and everything. So definitely there has to be a language or any type of a symbolic language. So that is the beginning of verbal communication. So the conclusion that we can say from this is Australopithecus afarensis believed to be in hominid line. But if we will go to Australopithecus africanus or Paranthropus robustus or Paranthropus boscae, these are not in the line of hominid, and hence in the course of time they perished. So in this video we discussed one topic. We'll meet in the next video with the new topic. Stay tuned. Thank you.